In this video, you will learn which combinations of onions with other foods after the age of 60 can become your natural shield against illnesses and help you live up to 100 years. We will explain how simple dishes that include onions support the health of the heart, liver, intestines, and blood vessels, strengthen the immune system, and stabilize blood sugar levels. At the end, you will discover a particularly valuable combination that very few people know about. Would you like me also to prepare a version adapted for a lecture-style video narration if needed? This video is going to be incredibly informative and helpful. If you want to take control of your health like a pro, give it a like, and let's get started. Always eat onions with tomatoes. Regular consumption of onions together with tomatoes helps reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases by 27% in people over the age of 60. This combination is particularly effective in preventing age-related conditions such as cataracts, macular degeneration, and cognitive decline. The unique interaction between quercetin from onions and lycopene from tomatoes creates a powerful antioxidant defense. Quercetin neutralizes free radicals and reduces inflammation, while lycopene protects cell membranes from oxidative damage. For older adults, this combination is especially valuable because it strengthens blood vessels, lowers the risk of hypertension and atherosclerosis, slows down neurodegenerative processes, and reduces inflammation, including conditions like arthritis. Research conducted by the American Institute for Cancer Research shows that regular consumption of onions with tomatoes reduces the risk of prostate cancer by 35% and the risk of breast cancer by 25%. Studies from Ohio University found that frequent intake of this pair is associated with better cognitive functions and a decrease in inflammatory markers in the blood. An example is Antonio Todaro from Sicily, who lived to be 107 years old. His daily diet included fresh red onions and local tomatoes with olive oil. This dietary tradition was passed down through generations of long-lived family members. Regularly combining onions and tomatoes can add between 7 to 9 years to your life. Would you also like me to prepare a version slightly adjusted for a more formal or educational style if needed? Always eat onions with olive oil. In regions where it is customary to eat onions with olive oil, there is a 31% lower incidence of cardiovascular diseases and a 22% lower occurrence of fatty liver disease among older adults. This combination is ideal for people of advanced age because olive oil enhances the absorption of quercetin and other flavonoids found in onions. It also protects the stomach lining, reduces irritation, and makes digestion easier. The synergy between onions and olive oil is especially beneficial for preventing dyslipidemia, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, and gallstone disease. According to the American Heart Association, regular consumption of this combination lowers the level of bad cholesterol by 18% and raises the level of good cholesterol by 12%. The National Institute on Aging found that people who regularly consumed this combination had a 40% lower risk of cognitive decline over 15 years of observation. Ramona Frondis from Greece, who lived to be 106 years old, ate fresh onions in olive oil for breakfast every day. On the island of Icaria, where she lived, this tradition was passed down from generation to generation. Consistently eating onions with olive oil can add between 6 to 8 years to your life. Would you like me to continue in the same style if you have more texts to translate? Always eat onions with lentils or buckwheat. About 30% of people over the age of 60 suffer from iron deficiency. Combining onions with lentils or buckwheat helps increase hemoglobin levels by 15 to 20% over the course of 3 months. Onions neutralize phytates and oxalates, which interfere with iron absorption and convert iron into a form that is easily absorbed. This is especially important for older adults whose stomach acidity tends to decrease, making mineral absorption less efficient. This combination improves blood formation, supports the immune system, enhances cognitive functions, and strengthens bone health. The American Society of Hematology found that combining onions with lentils or buckwheat increases iron absorption by 35% compared to consuming them separately. The Jean Mayer USDA Human Nutrition Research Center on Aging at Tufts University reported a 28% reduction in the risk of sarcopenia among those who regularly consumed this combination. Maria Gorbacheva from Russia, who lived to be 103 years old, ate buckwheat porridge with onions every day. She considered this dish the main secret of her energy and longevity. Regularly eating onions with lentils or buckwheat can add between 5 to 7 years to your life. Would you like me to continue in the same style with the next part if you have it ready? Always eat onions with fish. Regular consumption of onions with fish among people over the age of 60 reduces the risk of heart attacks and strokes by 35%. This combination also helps lower blood pressure by 10 to 15 millimeters of mercury over the course of 3 months. Onions and fish create a powerful duo for heart health. The sulfides and flavonoids in onions, especially quercetin, enhance the effects of the omega-3 fatty acids found in fish by improving their absorption, dilating blood vessels, and reducing the risk of blood clots. For older adults, this pairing is especially valuable because it helps prevent atherosclerosis, hypertension, arrhythmias, heart failure, supports cognitive functions, and reduces inflammation, which is one of the factors in vascular aging. Research conducted by the American Heart Association showed that this combination reduces the risk of atrial fibrillation by 42%. Tufts University found that regular consumption of onions with fish helps maintain blood vessel elasticity comparable to that of individuals who are 10 to 15 years younger. Yoshito Ono from Japan, who lived to be 105 years old, ate fish with onions every day, maintaining her activity level and clear mind until her final days. According to her, the secret was a simple dish: fresh fish, either steamed or baked, served with a generous amount of onions. Regularly eating onions with unsalted fish can add between 7 to 10 years to your life. Would you like to proceed with the next text in the same format? Always eat onions with fresh herbs. Older adults who regularly consume onions with fresh herbs experience respiratory infections 42% less often and recover more quickly. This combination is a powerful immune system modulator. The volatile compounds in onions work synergistically with the essential oils found in parsley and dill, creating strong antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory effects. Vitamins C and K, folic acid, and chlorophyll further enhance the body's defenses. For people over the age of 60, this combination is especially valuable because it strengthens the immune system, reduces joint inflammation, prevents autoimmune processes, and improves microcirculation. According to the American Society for Nutrition, regular consumption of this combination increases the activity of natural killer cells by 27% and raises the level of immunoglobulin A by 35%. Research from Rutgers University confirmed that it lowers the level of pro-inflammatory cytokines, which helps protect against chronic inflammation associated with aging. Elena Nikolaeva from Bulgaria, who lived to be 104 years old, ate onions with parsley, dill, and mint every day. Her family noted that she rarely became ill, even in her later years, thanks to her green sandwich, bread with olive oil, onions, and fresh herbs. Consistently eating onions with fresh herbs can add between 5 to 8 years of healthy life. Would you like me to continue translating and paraphrasing the next part if you have it ready? Always eat onions with carrots. Consuming onions with carrots reduces the risk of age-related macular degeneration by 33% and the risk of cataracts by 27% among older adults. This combination also improves skin condition, reducing visible signs of aging by 18%. Onions help the body absorb the carotenoids found in carrots, beta-carotene, lutein, and zeaxanthin, more effectively, which is especially important for people over the age of 60. Regular consumption supports the health of the retina and the lens of the eye, improves skin elasticity, and strengthens the immune system. Additionally, this combination promotes digestive health and lowers the risk of certain types of cancer. The American Academy of Ophthalmology found that this combination increases macular pigment density by 25%. Studies by the American Society for Dermatologic Surgery confirmed improvements in epidermal thickness and skin blood flow after 6 months of regular intake. Rosa Martinez from Mexico, who lived to be 102 years old, made what she called eye soup every day, stewing carrots with onions. She maintained excellent vision and youthful skin well into old age, attributing her health to this simple recipe. Consistently eating onions with carrots can add between 6 to 8 years to the length of healthy life. Would you like me to continue in the same style for the next part if you have it ready? Always eat onions with chicken. According to current statistical data, about 40% of people over the age of 60 suffer from age-related sarcopenia, the loss of muscle mass and strength, which significantly increases the risk of falls, fractures, and loss of independence. Recent studies show that regularly eating a combination of onions with properly cooked chicken can slow the loss of muscle mass by 25% and improve protein absorption by 30% in older adults. Researchers from the National Institute on Aging, in their 7-year study, found that this combination is associated with maintaining functional independence and hand grip strength at a level typical for individuals 10 years younger than their chronological age. Maria Cortez from Spain, who lived to be 108 years old, regularly prepared a traditional dish of stewed chicken with a generous amount of onions and herbs. In an interview given at the age of 105, she shared that she retained the ability to independently manage all household tasks and even work in her small garden well into old age. According to her, the secret to her physical vitality was precisely this simple dish, which she cooked at least 3 times a week. Notably, Maria never used fried chicken, always choosing to stew or boil it, and always included a generous amount of onions. Regularly eating a combination of onions with properly cooked chicken can potentially add between 6 to 9 years to the duration of an active, independent life by supporting muscle mass and function. Would you like me to continue with the next part in the same consistent style? Always eat onions with beets. As people age, the body's detoxification processes slow down by 25 to 30%, leading to the accumulation of toxins and the development of oxidative stress. However, regularly consuming onions with beets helps improve liver function by 22% and reduces oxidative stress levels by 31% in just 3 months. This combination acts as a powerful detoxification team. The organosulfur compounds and flavonoids in onions activate liver enzymes responsible for neutralizing toxins, while the betaine and nitrates in beets enhance blood circulation, promote bile flow, and support liver cell regeneration. For older adults, this pairing is especially important as it supports the body's natural cleansing mechanisms and strengthens antioxidant defenses. It also helps prevent fatty liver disease, gallstone disease, normalizes blood pressure, and fortifies blood vessels. Research by the American Association for the Study of Liver Diseases showed that consuming onions and beets lowers the levels of liver enzymes ALT and AST by 18% in individuals with early-stage fatty liver disease. Scientists from the University of Colorado found that this combination helps reduce systolic blood pressure by an average of 8 millimeters of mercury. Sarah Miller from the United States, who lived to be 106 years old, prepared a traditional beet and onion salad dressed with vegetable oil throughout her life. In an interview on her 100th birthday, she shared that this dish was a staple in her diet, and she never needed any medications for liver support. Her family traditionally prepared this salad twice a week, even in winter, using preserved beets. Regularly eating onions with beets can add between 5 to 7 years to the duration of healthy life by enhancing the body's detoxification processes. Would you like to continue in the same style with the next text if you have it? Always eat onions with whole grain bread. Among people over the age of 60% experience disruptions in their gut microbiome, which increases the risk of inflammation, weakened immunity, and metabolic disorders. Regular consumption of onions with whole grain bread increases the diversity of beneficial bacteria by 27% and reduces blood sugar fluctuations by 19%. This combination acts as a powerful symbiotic. The prebiotic fibers in onions, inulin and fructooligosaccharides, nourish beneficial bacteria, while the fiber from the bread stimulates intestinal activity and supports the microbiome. For older adults, this pairing is especially valuable because the gut flora becomes less diverse with age and intestinal motility slows down. Regular intake helps combat constipation, lowers the risk of diverticulosis, supports immunity, and stabilizes cholesterol levels. The American Society for Microbiology found that onions, combined with whole grain products, increase the population of bifidobacteria and lactobacilli by 35%. Researchers from Tufts University identified a link between this combination and improved insulin sensitivity, as well as reduced inflammation. Joseph Cohen from the United States, who lived to be 109 years old, ate sandwiches made with whole grain bread and onions every day. In an interview given on his 105th birthday, he shared that for 80 years he had breakfasted this way and never suffered from digestive issues or diabetes. Regularly eating onions with whole grain bread can add between 5 to 8 years to your life by strengthening the microbiome and stabilizing metabolism. Would you like me to continue with the final part if you have it? Always eat onions with potatoes. About 35% of older adults experience difficulties digesting starchy foods, which can lead to discomfort and spikes in blood sugar levels. Regular consumption of onions with potatoes lowers the glycemic index of the meal by 25% and improves digestion by 30%. This combination is a classic example of culinary synergy. The enzymes and bioactive compounds in onions speed up the breakdown of potato starch, converting it into resistant starch that is absorbed slowly. The antimicrobial properties of onions also prevent fermentation, reducing the risk of bloating. For older adults, this pairing is important as a source of steady energy without sharp sugar spikes and as support for the gut microbiome, thanks to prebiotics and potassium, which also helps regulate blood pressure. The American Diabetes Association found that the combination of onions and potatoes reduces postprandial glucose spikes by 31% in people with prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. Researchers from the University of Pennsylvania noted that it enhances the feeling of fullness and reduces overall calorie intake by 15%. Pedro Martinez from Brazil, who lived to be 103 years old, ate boiled potatoes with stewed onions throughout his life. In an interview on his 100th birthday, he shared that he never suffered from stomach problems or blood sugar spikes. His doctor reported stable glycated hemoglobin levels even into very old age. Regularly eating this combination can add between 5 to 7 years to your life by supporting a stable metabolism and comfortable digestion. Would you also like a final compiled version with all 10 points connected smoothly for a complete text? Next, I recommend checking out these videos, and don't forget to leave your likes and comments. I'm looking forward to them.